Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope that your weekend has started well. Welcome one and all in the live chat room. Thank you guys for getting involved so early on and being part of that early bird crew that are in there. Hello, Jennifer, Alexi, Deborah, Linda Z's in the house, Jennifer, Corey, Susan and Dennis in there as well, Carla, Karen, Deborah, Donna, Pamela and Christina as well. Hello guys, thank you for joining me, and a huge shout out to the moderators as Carla goes through there, but you'll see them with their names in blue with a wrench next to their name. They make these whole live chat room experiences go along so much smoother, so thank you guys so much for sorting all that out. You know who you are, and Laurie and Neil will pop in there I'm sure at some point as well. So let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible, as well as the analysis videos on the channel. You know who you guys are. They also pop up in the super chat window as well throughout these live streams, so we will get the super chat window up on screen because I think we have had a few donations in there already, so thank you guys so much for these. And I'm just going to scroll up to make sure we get to the top because Marilyn donated $5 at 1 minute past 3, and that was this afternoon. I was a little bit late setting up this live stream because last night I was doing a video, and whenever I'm doing videos I'm pretty much concentrating on the analysis videos and uploading them and getting everything finished and just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, so sometimes I do forget to set up the live streams, but I did do it this afternoon, I do believe. But anyway, that must have been meant when Marilyn donated pretty much immediately, so thank you for that, Marilyn. It was a $5 donation. The message was, "Hi Phil and everyone, I'll be in the catch-up crew. Please stay healthy," with a heart. So thank you for that, Marilyn. And Ginny has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that. It's a straight up donation. Orlando has donated $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. And Ginny has donated again $5. Thank you again. The message is, why do groups not have someone backstage to watch instruments so they won't get ripped off? So thank you for that message and the question as well. And I think this is maybe relating to bands that are independent and maybe not playing at huge gigs where the security is a little bit better. Whereas in smaller venues, I think the problem is when you mention about having somebody backstage to watch your instruments and watch your gear to make sure that it doesn't get stolen, that's just something that if you are in a band and an independent band, and a lot of people will know the story of getting yourself ready and getting set up pretty much in the early afternoon, maybe lunchtime, so 12 o'clock or maybe 1 p.m. you're starting to travel to the venue, and then you get everything out, you get the drums set up, and you might be sound checking around 3 or 4, and then the doors won't open on the venue until about 6 or 7. So if you're talking about getting somebody along to watch your gear, you would have to say to them, oh, we've got a gig on Saturday, so do you want to get round mine for about 12:30? And then they'll say, well, what time will I get home? And you say, well, probably about 2 in the morning. So it's quite a long time when you play a gig. I know that people might not necessarily appreciate when they watch the band for half an hour that they've spent all day getting ready for that performance, and then they have to clean everything up and put away all of their equipment, and it can take a long time as well. So you get back home in the early hours, and in the UK here you don't get paid for original music, so it really is a labour of love. But asking somebody to look after all of your stuff for that length of period just doesn't really wash with some people. They say, oh no, I'll watch it for a few minutes, but not literally half a day. But it's something that I think if you do play in bands, it is a bit of a pain sometimes. I always used to try and keep my gear right by the side of the stage so that I could keep an eye on it throughout all of my performance, but also other bands' performances, and watch anybody that started to go close to my gear. But having said that, there have been a few situations where I've lost leads, and I think I've lost 3 Planet Waves leads that were about 36 feet in length, and I think I've been quite exact there. I think they were exactly 36 feet in length. But those clock in at around 30 or 40 quid a time, and I think people that are in bands, they know how much long leads cost, especially high quality long leads, so that's why I missed 3 of those. Somebody saw it and picked it up and put it in their bag and made a run for it at the end of gigs. And especially at the end of gigs, there's leads all over the place, so trying to keep a track of them is tricky. But yeah, mine always got stolen because I would go to gigs being prepared, knowing that I'd want to move around the stage, so I had a very long lead. And yeah, those are 3 in total that I missed, or not misplaced, but 3 went missing from other people in other bands that put them in their bag because they knew that they're quite good leads. But anyway, never mind, it's just something you got to deal with being in a band and being around other bands who maybe don't have the same moral fiber as you, but it's just the risk you take, unfortunately. So really is a labour of love and something that you put a lot of money into as well. But thank you so much for that donation and the question. And Marilyn has donated again $5. Thank you for that, Marilyn. The message is, hi Phil, I wanted to ask what inspires your songwriting. Is it when you're out walking or in your thoughts at night? With a heart. So thank you for that. And I don't really spend a lot of time out walking, so it is pretty much when I go to bed or when I'm trying to go to sleep that my brain is probably the most active, which sometimes doesn't help because I'm trying to get to sleep. But that's where I probably think of most lyrical content and maybe other riffs and songs or ideas for songs. So then I have to get up and play my guitar a bit and try and get it down on my phone, and then I go back to bed and then I'll think of a lyric, so I'll get out of bed and I'll write that down. But I think that was pretty much the case for my song called Running Blind. That mostly happened just before I'd go to sleep. So most of that lyrical content happened at that point. And that's pretty much where most of it happens, but sometimes it might be the case that you just are jamming or just playing along to a track or just throwing some riffs together and something comes out that you just have to record and get on your phone. So it is a little bit random sometimes, but I'd say mostly just before going to sleep. So that's just my own case. I'm sure it's different for other people, but that seems to work for me. But thank you for that, Marilyn. And Laura has donated $10 as well. Thank you for this, Laura. The message is, Phil, how does it feel when you hear from someone who you have covered? So thank you for that question. And it's really cool to have people get in touch and send a message, whether it's just somebody saying that they liked a particular cover that I've done of one of their songs, and I've mentioned about Neil Schon, and interestingly, the song that we're going to be looking at later, or my cover of that particular song, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, and Neil got in contact to say that he liked my cover of it, which was great. But also on the analysis videos where people get in touch with me and the artists get in touch, that's great as well, because I'm sure at some point in the future we can just keep the contact going and maybe get a few guests on the show. As you guys will know over on Patreon and regular watchers of the live streams, that next Thursday we will be talking to Buck Dharma, and that's not going to be a live stream, that's going to be just an interview that I'm going to have with him. I'll record it all and release it on Sunday, so that'll be interesting to take a look at, but also it'll be great to get Buck on the channel as well. So we are going to be jumping into the first video of the night, but just before we do, Lucy has donated $4.99 as well. Thank you for that, Lucy. And the message is, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers, spike the likes, such a wonderful, fantastic, philabulous community of philomaniacs. Or Philomanics, not maniacs. So thank you for that, Lucy. And there's some rock horns, a heart, and peace as well. So thank you for that. And we are going to be jumping into the first video of the night, as I said. But before we do, let me get the likeometer up on screen, because where are we at? 126 likes so far. Thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. If you haven't done it yet, now is a great time to do it. We'll see if we can get a spike of the likes early on in the live stream, 10 minutes past midnight here in the UK. And let's see what we are aiming for. Tonight's likes total is 360. And those of you that did tune in on Tuesday will know that we didn't quite hit our likes target or our likes goal for Tuesday, but on Saturday it is 360. Hopefully we can get a few more people to join in and tune in to tonight's live stream. And having a look at the Pick Roulette likes, that sits at 365. So just 5 more once we hit that target, if we can do, fingers crossed. But if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, let's see if we can get a spike of the likes. I'm going to plug the mug while I say that, even though this is the Let's See How They Get On. And there we have it, mug, which I use on Saturdays. The other live stream Tuesday mug is the Spike the Likes one. But if you want to get your hands on the mugs, any of the merchandise, it'll be in the tray underneath this video and all of the videos here on the channel, as well as on Teespring. If you go to teespring.com, type in Wings of Pegasus, and you can just get your hands on everything there if you want to. Wingsofpegasus.com as well is where you can go for Carla's merchandise, which is necklaces and earrings and all kinds of stuff over there. So head over to the official website if you want to check that out. So we are going to be jumping into the first video of the night, and to have a little look over on Patreon to see what was requested, we're going to be taking a look at Unwanted Stranger, which is one of my songs. This was requested by Marilyn, who we've already said hello to in the super chat window. Also, Karen has requested this one, and Mary as well. So quite a few requests for Unwanted Stranger. Thank you guys for answering my request for requests over on Patreon, because it really helps me out on these live streams. So we will jump into this. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
Told me something about you that I didn't want to know. Look me right in the eye, and then you placed your head on my shoulder. This position that you put me in, you're on a mission to take my world from around me. Wide awake, I worry my brain. Turn over, turn over, turn over. Waiting, anticipating. Come on, make up your mind. Night of passion became a nightmare. When the flood arrived, I realized what a fool I've been. You don't even know me, so how could you love me? Let alone care for this unwanted stranger. Forget about the life that I dreamed of. Turn over, turn over, turn over. Waiting, anticipating. Come on, make up your mind. Repercussions and consequences. Should've known better. Wish I never met her. True to the letter, I'll never forget her. Waiting, anticipating. Come on, make up your mind.
there we have it. That was my song called Unwanted Stranger, and you can pick that up over at wingsofpegasus.com/music. And if you just head over to wingsofpegasus.com, you'll find all of my songs there, my album as well, which is called Persistence, and you can pick it up at iTunes and Amazon as well, but it's better for me if you go to my website, because then I don't have to give away a percentage. So, we are going to be jumping back into the Super Chat window because we've had a few more donations, and thank you guys for all of these. By the way, later on, we are going to be having a pick roulette, and I think we're going to be doing 2 spins, because last time the winner, or at least recently, the winners 1 or 2 haven't been in the live chat room when we've done the spin, and that's another potential catchphrase there. They weren't in when we did the spin, so it means that we spin it again in order to find somebody to fill that slot effectively. So we'll do that tonight. We'll do an extra spin, so there'll be a couple of those later on, so it increases your chances of winning. You get a 2 in about 80 or 90 or 100 in order to win. So you do get more chance when there's 2 spins, obviously. So we'll look forward to that a little bit later on in the Super Chat window. We've had a donation from Brianna, who has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, I totally love your 10cc analysis, Phil. That made my week. So thank you for the kind words. And this was last night, the analysis that I did on 10cc, and that was I'm Not In Love. So you can check that out. Also, on that particular analysis, there's lots of technical speak, a little bit about production techniques and stuff, which I find interesting, but it's interesting just, I think, of course, to find out how bands recorded in the studio and how it was all put together, how they get that final sound on the record. So that was good to get into all of that. But also, as a quick recap of the analysis videos, I think on Sunday is when I did the Jimi Hendrix analysis, and that was on his version of Johnny B. Good, so you can check that out. That'll be on the channel here somewhere. And also Leslie West was the live analysis that happened on Wednesday, and those happen on Wednesday nights, same time as these live streams, just on a Wednesday at 12 midnight here, Greenwich Mean Time, and we go through the analysis like we normally would, but in a live setting. So look out for those on Wednesdays if you are around. Getting back into the Super Chat window, we have Mary, who has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, hello Phil, thanks for being an oasis of positivity. And no problem. I think it's something that is very important to just keep positive, especially nowadays with everything going on and the world as it is. But we are always positive here on these live streams as well. So we will always continue to be, and I'll always be live streaming as long as you guys are here to watch as well. We'll keep on going into the future and see where we end up. But thank you for that, Mary. And Patrick has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, hola Phil, send positive energy to my sister Pamela Alford, and that was sister in inverted commas, Pamela Alford, who has had a loss of a family member. We are sending all our love to her tonight. So thank you for that, Patrick, and thank you for the message as well. And I'm sure everybody in that live chat room sends their condolences to Pamela, and it's always a very sad thing to hear about, but all of our thoughts are with you, Pamela, and thank you, Patrick, for that message. And also, after that, David has donated $5 as well, so thank you for that, David. And the message is, Phil, always impressed by your deep knowledge and competency. Did you have formal education in music, or are you entirely self-taught? So thank you for that, David. And I'm entirely self-taught. It's just I've been doing it a very long time, and I think it's also important to have a practical knowledge of things that are going on, and I think gigging is probably the best thing that you can do in order to not only help production when you then get in the studio, but to just get used to playing live and getting used to setting up your mic. And I'm talking about if you play live and you might be a guitarist and a singer, it means that you start learning so much more about vocals, and then when you get into the studio, about mixing vocals and EQing vocals and just recording techniques in general when you get into the studio, because sometimes when you are playing live, it helps to have a little bit of that background information to then talk with the sound engineer and maybe things that they want you to do and understanding what they want from that on-stage sound and your setup. So it really does help. But yeah, everything that I have done and everything that I know in my head is from just having done it for a very long time. I have watched a lot of singing courses and gone through a lot of singing programs. So on that side of things, I've learned a lot from vocal coaches and just learning to sing myself from scratch, because I think because I've been through that journey myself, I can maybe start to understand it from people's points of view who can't yet sing, but they're trying to sing. And because I know what it's like to go through the process of not really being able to sing, but then actually being able to sing, or at least get away with it, so people think that you can sing or that it's some kind of natural gift that you've got, where it isn't. You've just worked at it a lot. It's a thing that I've just taken on a lot of information and been through a lot of courses, so maybe I can relate to it more than people who might have started singing when they were 5 or 6 or 7 years of age and have never known what it's like to not be able to sing. So they might find it harder to explain or to empathize with someone who just doesn't know how to hit notes and how to get their voice out. But that's something that I find maybe has helped me, is learning to sing from that very first step. But thank you, David, for that. And Terry has donated $5. Thank you for this, Terry. And the message is, keep it up with the guy working out. So thank you for that. And Susan has donated $10 as well. Thank you for this, Susan. The message is, love being able to watch the live stream from the start with all you wingers and patrons. Best place to be on YouTube. So thank you for the kind words, Susan, and welcome watching it from the beginning, because everyone will recognize Susan's name from previous live streams, but here she is all the way from the beginning. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you everyone for tuning in tonight in that live chat room. And as you come through the door, if you want to leave a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. We're closing in on 200 likes. We're at 192 at the moment, so we're looking for 8 people to hit that thumbs up to get us to the 200. We are trying to get all the way up to 360, and we've got a little bit of time left still in the live stream, so we will see where we end up. But back into the super chat window, because there's another donation in there, and Music Maiden has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, have any of your songs ever been played on the radio? If so, how did you feel the first time you heard yourself? So thank you for that. And yes, my songs have been played on the radio. A very long time ago, my first ever original band, which Chris was part of, and Chris was in the last live stream, Chris Law, we had our song played on the unsigned band BBC radio show that's our local kind of radio thing, and it was called Unsigned, or what was it? I can't remember exactly what it's called. I think it was BBC Introducing was the official name of the show, and we had our song played on that, which was great, and we were all listening to that at the same time, I do believe, in the rehearsal studio, so that was good when that happened. And then later on, we had, or it's just me and the second guitarist at this point, because the drummer and the bassist had gone a separate way because they couldn't afford to keep gigging, and we were trying to decide what we were going to do, and that was played on, I think it was XFM or something like that. I can't even remember the name of the radio station, but there's been lots of radio airplay on independent stations, because I think that's where most independent bands go to. So it's people that have set up their own radio stations, also on places like Marlow FM, which Marlow's a town next to Maidenhead, and they have a radio station. Also, there was a station in Reading, and this might have been XFM, I can't even remember what it's called, but it is a big station, because Reading is a huge place, but it goes all around the England area. I think you can pretty much get it everywhere, but I'm gonna have to have a look up to see what it's called, because there's an official name, you know, like we have here, like Capital FM and XFM and these other ones, Magic FM, that's another one. I can't remember which this was called, but it wasn't either of those. But I will find that out while the next video plays. So yes, short answer, I have had my songs played on the radio, which is cool, but I don't think it's an instant piece of exposure that's going to make you sell thousands more copies of your song. It's just people listen to the radio and they hear it and they might be in their car, but they don't necessarily then go home and download your song. I think in order to get any kind of real exposure, it needs to be on maybe mainstream TV or something that is going to be in prime time on TV or prime time on the radio, getting right in that travel slot, if you like. But then even still, people don't necessarily go home and look up the bands that they were listening to on the way home. Some people just drive and that's music's just in the background. But it's something that I think a lot of independent stations do play independent artists, and a lot of those stations do build up quite a following, so it's good to get yourselves on there if possible. I'm very fortunate in that I have now, with you guys, an audience on YouTube, so it's not as important for me to get radio airplay because I give myself my own airplay on my channel and during these live streams. So it's a very privileged position to be in, but I don't take it for granted because I have been through the probably 15 years of trying to get my song played on the radio and waiting for DJs and going through all of that. So it's great now that I have this ability and this opportunity because it is not wasted on me. I do appreciate every single person in that live chat room and everybody that comments and likes a song or a video. It really is important to me and something that I do appreciate on a very deep level. So thank you guys so much for all of your attention and all of your time just looking at this channel and listening to my music. So we are going to be moving on with the next cover video, which it will be, but I just want to move into the super chat window again. Kay has donated $5. Thank you for that, Kay. The message is, if you could write a song for a computer game, which game would it be? And that's a good question. It would have to be maybe, I don't know, something like a driving game. I think my kind of music would have to be on a game like Gran Turismo or something because it's a little bit upbeat. I'm talking about the moderate and high tempo songs. You don't have to stop putting a ballad on a racing game, but a racing game would be cool. Maybe just a football game when you're looking at the tables and the stats and the players and stuff like that, because I am a football fan. I'm a soccer fan, as we call it here in the UK. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know, fighting games, is that good for hard rock? I think it's just going to have to be a game where people think, oh, it'd be good to have this particular song on there. Or maybe one of those GTA games where they have the radio inside the car, so you can listen to the radio while you're driving a car. That'd be cool as well. So pretty much any game. What about Guitar Hero as well? Not that I've played it, or well, I did play it once around my old drummer's house. That was back when I was in my early 20s, but I wasn't any good at it, so I just gave up and stuck to the real guitar. But maybe on that would be quite cool to get your songs out there that way. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, and I'm just going to scroll up a little bit to make sure I don't miss any. Melissa has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, you have a great singing voice, Phil. Easy on the ears, pleasant, and I enjoy listening to you sing. So thank you for that, for the kind words. And Carl has donated $5. Thank you for that, Carl. The message is the usual for when the world goes back to normal, and this is the Cross the Pond Fund. Or some pizza, since someone says they ate yours already, with a winking face. I don't know who's eating my pizza already, but maybe pizza is going to be on the menu for next week. It's something that I think more recently, even though I shouldn't admit to this, I did have a McDonald's, I can't remember, was it on Thursday? And I think the problem is that I hadn't had a McDonald's in a long time, so then I wanted another one. But I think the next one will probably be pizza, because I haven't had pizza in a while either. But thank you for that, Carl. And Kevin has donated $2. Thank you for that, Kevin. The message is, can you have dairy cheese on your pizza? So thank you for that. And yes, cheese is an exception. I don't know how it works, but milk is really, well, cow's milk is really bad for me personally with digestion, but pretty much cheese, I've even had sometimes, or like a one-off, I had some blue cheese, which looks like it's gone off, and some cheddar and mature cheddar, and those all seem to be okay. Generally, when I eat something, it's a new addition to my diet, so it means that I then wait 3 or 4 days to see what effect it has. And with those cheeses, I ate those and saw what happened, and nothing happened. So it means that I can have cheese on crackers, for example, and sometimes I have some grapes with that, and that is a bit of a weakness with me. I do like cheese and crackers, and I tend to go just for cheddar cheese. And I think if I just ate a lot of it, then I'd have problems, but just a little bit of cheese on a cracker now and again is absolutely fine. So when I have it on pizza, I'm still okay with that. So there's a hell of a lot more pizza, more pizza with cheese than cheese with crackers. But yeah, the pizza seems to be okay. Again, I think it's a moderation thing. Maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks is fine. Any more than that, then I'd be tempting fate. So thank you for that, Kevin. And Michael has donated $2. Thank you for that. The message is, rest in peace, Leslie West. I'm diabetic too. So thank you for that, Michael. And Leslie West was the live analysis that I did on Wednesday night. So you guys can check out that if you want to. But yes, that's a reference to Leslie's leg, his right leg, that he had to have amputated because of complications with diabetes. So you can check out that video. I think I do mention that in there, but he's also playing with Peter Frampton on that video, so it's a great performance of Mississippi Queen. You've got to check that out if you do get a chance. So thank you, Paul, as well, who has donated $10. And the message is, I really do enjoy hearing about how you came to be a guitar player, a singer, a TV star briefly, and of course how you came to YouTube. Thanks for sharing all those stories. So no problem. This is just my life and what I talk about, and pretty much everything that you guys ask, there's always going to be an answer. I'm not going to just... I think some people are a little bit off with answering particular questions, and for some reason, I don't know why, but some teachers, when somebody asks them a particular question, they don't want to tell them the answer, as if their guitar playing might be like sacred or at risk of being put out to more people, and now everybody else will be able to do what they can do, and they don't want people to do that. So I never really understand that. But anything people ask me, if it's a guitar related question or music or singing, I will answer it to the best of my ability and try and help everybody along as much as possible, because that's all that's happened with me, really. Just checking out videos on YouTube about singing and different courses, and looking at guitar players back in the day. I've mentioned before about watching guitar players on VHS, watching tapes, and Paul Gilbert, for example, was one of those. So yeah, just trying to figure out the way the people played, and also listening to Jimi Hendrix, all that kind of stuff. It all helps. But anyway, thank you for that, Paul. And Sue has donated $20 as well. So thank you for this, Sue, and it is a straight up donation. So thank you for that. We're going to be jumping into the first cover video. I only play one of these on the live streams, but the first video that was requested, I believe, over on Patreon. I'm just going to make sure that it was, because this is going to be Don't Stop Believing, and it was the first one requested by Kevin over there. I think this did get backed up as well with a few other requests for it. So let me have a little look down the list, and maybe I imagined it, but let's have a little look. I'm sure somebody else requested this one, and it was Karen who requested this again. Thank you for that. And I'm pretty sure there's another one in there, but anyway, we're going to be jumping into this, one that I referenced earlier as well, with Neil Sean's comments about it. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Is my cover of Don't Stop Believing by Journey, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
Small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Streetlight people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Working hard to get my fill. Everybody wants a thrill. Paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose. Some are born to sing the blues. Oh, the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Streetlight people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people.
Hi guys, it's Phil here. Thanks so much for watching my cover of Don't Stop Believing by Journey. The names you can see here are my patrons. Hi patrons, thanks so much for your support and for making videos like this possible. If you want to get involved yourself and if you want to talk to me and maybe suggest some other songs that I can cover, head to this website down here, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. And if I don't see you on Patreon, I'll see you at the next video. Have a great day. Rock. And there we have it. That was my version of Don't Stop Believing by Journey. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And that site that I referenced at the end, it's always interesting to watch the older videos to see the patrons that were involved at that point. And now the patrons are going along the bottom of the screen. There's a few more of them now, but still we've got the patrons that were with me back then. So thank you guys for all of your support back then, but also all of you guys who've joined in. And just to give you guys a quick look at that, because on the video the live chat room just cut off the of Pegasus, but it's pretty self-explanatory. The patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. Pretty much everything, you just type in Wings of Pegasus and you will find me. wingsofpegasus.com, facebook.com/Wings of Pegasus, Twitter is Wings of Pegasus. So there's no change of that. If you type it in, you will find me. But that is the Patreon link, and that is really the foundation of everything I do. So thank you everyone for your support over there. Let me get you guys back up on screen as well in the super chat window, because we've had a bit of action in there. And let me scroll up a little bit. And the latest message was, I think, from Sue, and that was $20. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit to make sure that I don't miss any out. And yes, I covered Paul's one and Sue, and thank you for that, Sue, the $20 donation. Kay as well has donated again $5, so thank you for that, Kay. The message is, another question, are you surprised that artists such as Neil Young, Bob Dylan and Stevie Nicks are selling their music catalogues? So thank you for that. And it's interesting because when somebody sells their catalog or their back catalogues of rights to their songs, it's going to give them an upfront amount of money. So it means that a particular publishing company will offer them, say, 20 million or something, or depending on the artist, obviously. But it means that they get that cash up front, whereas waiting to make that amount of money, it might just be too long for them, or they might have a situation in their life where they think, right, I need this money now, so I'm going to sell all of my songs to the highest bidder and then have that money, and then they can, take the royalties for the rest of time. But that's the only other thing to mention, is that pretty much the top artists, they are going to be making money from music for the rest of time. And those artists like Neil Young and Bob Dylan and Stevie Nicks, they have songs that will always get radio airplay. So it means they will always get a royalty. So if they have a family, it might be an emergency situation where they really need the money now, this second. But if it isn't, then there's going to be the opportunity for all of the generations of their family to have a passive income in the future. Long after they are gone, the music is going to live on. So it's just weighing that up. And I think a lot of people don't realize that in order to make $20 million, for example, from royalties, if it's a top artist, it won't take that long to accumulate that amount of money. So I think if publishing companies and record labels get the rights to somebody's music for around that kind of sum, they are winning. They are going to win into the future because their company is just going to keep going, and it's going to strengthen their company as well, having those kind of rights just registered with the record label. So personally, I don't think I would, if I was in their shoes, I don't think I would sell my rights to anybody, because I know that it is infinite income. And as soon as you receive money for something, just a set fee, that is it. So if for some reason you lose that money and then you have another emergency and you say, right, now I really need a lot of money again, or just any money, you're not going to have a leg to stand on because you don't own anything anymore. So it would be a nightmare situation to have no income at all because you've sold everything that you have rights to. But I'm sure a lot of the top artists are selling their rights to particular catalogues of theirs, or say, for example, a particular decade, from one year to the next, all of the songs that happen then, they might sell the rights to, but then keep that passive income. It's going to be a very complicated contract that will be written up. I can't imagine somebody just selling everything they've ever done for a set figure and then that's it. So yes, there's always going to be that slight bit of wiggle room for contracts, and with the bigger artists, they have such a wide catalogue of songs and it is so deep that they can afford to maybe just sell a few to get some upfront cash if they need it. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, and I'm just going to scroll up because we had a few more come in. Thank you for that, Kay. And Lynn is in the house and has donated $100. Thank you so much for that, Lynn. A very kind donation. And the message is, McDonald's supports Ronald McDonald Camp Good Times, a free camp for kids with serious illness and their families to have fun together and just be kids for a change. Don't anybody feel bad about the occasional Big Mac, please. So thank you for that, Lynn. And that is good to know as well. And if you do go, I know that nowadays with COVID, you can't actually go to McDonald's because it's shut. But if you do go there, they often have the collection things at the front where you just pop your change in there, because usually when you buy a McDonald's, you'll get like 20p or 50p change or something, and it all helps for causes like this. So if you can pop it in there, that's great as well. But thank you, Lynn, for that donation and for letting people know about that Ronald McDonald Camp Good Times as well. Patrick has donated $20. Thank you for that, Patrick. The message is, Hola again, Phil. On Monday, we celebrate the life and legacy of one of my all-time personal heroes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Let's celebrate his birthday by highlighting the black artist who truly gave us rock and roll, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Patrick. And this is a huge part of the sound that actually went back over to America during the British invasion in the 60s. So many of those bands were listening to the old-time blues players and rock and roll as well. So they had a huge say, and it's interesting in that the music heritage of the USA was already there, but it almost took people from the UK to go over with the sound for them to then realize what it was, and then people started getting into it afterwards. And this is why a lot of bands in the 60s and a lot of the black artists and the classic blues players would then play together on the same bill. And you had the great thing about music, which is that it doesn't matter the color of your skin, where you're from, which language you speak. It's all the same language with music. So you could get artists all playing together on the same stage. And that's when venues started to allow the audience to mingle as well. And it wasn't segregated audiences and all the stuff that happened previously. So I know that a lot of people did still try and put a divide down the middle, but it's just a great thing about music. It doesn't matter. When you hear somebody sing on the radio and you hear a song, you don't hear a color. you don't even hear another language, because there'll be other artists that are not from the UK or the USA who sing in English, and they might be from a totally different country, like maybe Germany or a European country, or they could be even from Japan or somewhere where they sing with the same sound as the song originally, and they do a cover of it, but then you realize that, yeah, when you see them, they're not as you thought they were. But that's the great thing, that when you're listening to somebody sing, you're listening to a song and you're not looking at something, you're listening without prejudice, which is how we should all listen anyway, regardless of whether you can see somebody or not. So that's the great thing about music. But thank you, Patrick, for that donation, and also for bringing the attention to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And yes, just so important, the black artists in rock and roll, but the blues and the blues players as well. And I featured a lot on the channel, and Chuck Berry was a recent one as well. So check out the classic blues players. That you'll find them pretty much all here on the channel, because it's all about just music on the channel. There's no agendas or anything. Everybody is equal here. But thank you so much, Patrick, for that. Shawnee, and everybody should be equal in life, let me just mention that. But Shawnee has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, thanks for the great cover, fantastic job. And thank you for those kind words. And Ray is in the house and has donated $100. Thank you so much for that very kind donation, Ray. And the message is, Phil, when you cover a song, you somehow manage to remain true to the original version while also adding your own artistry, and sometimes your message seems clearer or deeper than the original. How do you manage that? Is it intentional or done consciously? So thank you for that, Ray. And with these covers that I do, generally what I will do and the way that I approach it is trying to sing it in my own way and maybe rearrange the song for my own voice, and whether that means transposing it, changing chords, that's generally what I'll do. But I do try and keep it as authentic to the original as possible, but just sing it with my own voice. I don't think I've ever done a cover where I'm trying to sing like the person, or maybe trying to sound like the person who did it originally, because I think as soon as you start doing that, you're gonna lose because you can never sing it as well as the original singer, and your voice isn't the same as theirs. So I know that Ray knows about me singing and also the conversations that we've had about singing, where I very much just champion the thought of sing with your own voice, and that way you'll sound unique. And even if you're doing a cover, just sing it with your own voice. Don't try and sing it like the person you're covering, because you'll probably strain your voice and it won't sound as good. You won't be able to sing it as freely because you're worrying about trying to manipulate the tone of your voice. So yeah, just singing it your own way. That's the only way really that I approach it, and that's how I do it. So if it does sound like it's a different version but still sounds a little bit like that original, then that's great. So thank you for that, Ray. And Karen has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, Louis Armstrong said, music is life itself. I find this quote to be applicable to you. You inspire me musically and in life. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for the kind words, Karen. And that Louis Armstrong guy was a very switched on guy himself. So very wise words indeed. And thank you for sharing that quote, Karen. Lucy has donated $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, thank you for your words, Phil. All music is universal with some rock horns, a heart, and peace. So thank you for that. And Ken is in the house and has donated $5 and says, God blesses everyone, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Ken. So we are going to be getting into some pictures. Where are we time-wise? We're at almost 5-1 here in the UK. If you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, we can maybe have a spike of the likes at this point in the live stream, because we are aiming for 360 likes and we are at 277 at the moment. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it'd be much appreciated if you could do that, because we're not only trying to hit the likes goal for tonight, but also we're trying to get to the pick roulette likes target, which is 365 tonight, and hopefully we can have a pick roulette next week, next Saturday night. We'll find out if we are going to be doing that by the end of the live stream. We're going to have 2 spins tonight on the pick roulette. Just before we get into that, we're going to be taking a look at just 1 or 2 pictures, I believe, that were uploaded to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. You guys can join that if you're not part of that yet, but thank you everyone for uploading your pictures to that particular group on Facebook. And let me get the background up on screen, because I have to try and find this first. I have to go to a different place in order to find the pictures. So first of all, we're going to be taking a look at the first angle of Pamela's pick 10 that she won. So thank you for uploading this, Pamela, and this was during the pick roulette. So belated congratulations on this one, but that is the front of the pick 10. This is the one that I sometimes show to the camera, and I do have it with me again, so I'll show you guys after. And she also took a picture of the back, which has some guy with a guitar. I don't know why that guy's on there, but that is the picture on the back of the pick 10. So thank you for uploading that, Pamela. And this is said pick 10 Wings of Pegasus with lots of picks inside. But tonight we're going to be, well, trying to get, let me see if I can get out one of the picks. By the way, just while I've got this one that I picked out just totally randomly, this is a Wings of Pegasus pick. There's lots of different colors of picks and options of picks over at wingsofpegasus.com if you want to get yourself some Wings of Pegasus picks. But on these live streams, you can get hold of a signed pick, but this is the only way that you can get hold of one of these ones. Those aren't available on the website, so you have to only win them. You have to be very lucky to get your hands on one of those. So we will, without further ado, jump into the pick roulette for Saturday night, and good luck to everybody. Let's get into it. So hopefully the pick roulette wheel is now up on screen. So everybody's name that's on this pick roulette wheel typed I agree last week in the live chat room, and you can only be entered if you type I agree while you can see it on the screen, while you can see the live chat room. So now is not the time to be doing it because we are doing the pick roulette. You have to wait till after, and normally I play a video after this to give you a little bit of a chance to get your names on the next one if we do indeed reach the target for the likes. So we are going to be doing as we always do. We're shuffling the names 5 times, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we give the wheel a spin, and this is going to be the first spin of 2 tonight. So we're going to have 2 lucky winners. Here we go. Let's give it a spin and see who is going to win. So let's see the names going round. It's still too quick to make any out. Let me see if I can quickly try and pick one. I think I saw Billy go through there, and Jeff as well. Maybe Jeff will come back round again. And Mike has just gone through. Stephen, Olga as well, and Maxie and Jeannie. Karen's just gone through, and Jeff. I picked out Jeff's name when they were going through really quickly. Oh, what are the chances? I think it might be Cindy. I almost got it right. Wow. But there is Cindy. Congratulations on winning the Wings of Pegasus signed pick tonight. I can't believe I picked out Jeff and you almost won. So thank you for entering, everybody. Commiserations for not winning the first pick of the night. Cindy has won that. So Cindy, if you can let yourself be known in the live chat room to Carla, then we can get the pick sent off to you and that can all get organised. But we're going to have to go back to the same screen again because we're going to be having another one of these spins. And let me make sure that it's all centralised and all official, and I'm going to remember to give it another 5 shuffles for 5. There we go. And this is the second spin of the night and the final spin. So a final good luck to everybody, and I wish you the best for winning tonight. Let me see if I can pick out another name when it goes through really quickly and see. I saw Carl go through really quickly, so maybe Carl can get lucky. I don't know. Dan's gone through as well. There's Jeff again. So we're slowing down. We've got Marge who's just gone through, and Chet has just gone through as well, and Vince is coming up, Music Maiden as well, and maybe Lethea, or is it Maiden Fan? 18A, it looks like it's going to be Maiden Fan 18A. So thank you for entering. And congratulations on winning. And this is one of those usernames that there are so many Maiden related usernames, but this is Maiden Fan 18A. So congratulations on winning the second pick for tonight. If you can let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room, that would be great, because then we can start getting these picks sent off to you too. But thank you everyone for joining in on these pick roulettes, and commiserations if you didn't win. But if we hit our likes roulette target, then there will be another one next week, so we can always hold out for that. And let me return back to the screen and see where we are in order to see how likely the chances are that we'll have another one next week, because we're at 312 likes tonight so far. If you can hit that thumbs up, we're trying to reach 360, but 365 for another pick roulette wheel next week, to have another pit roulette and see who can win. Maybe we can do that as you come through the door. If you are just coming in, if you can hit that thumbs up, it would be great. And welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. If it is your first live stream, just say hello, introduce yourselves in the live chat room. That's how these always go. Just a few people at a time just join in and introduce themselves, and then we've become almost like a regular attendance at a pub or something. Everyone just gets involved, and it's great to see you guys on a Tuesday night and a Saturday night, and that's when these live streams happen. So it's going to be 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. If you want to catch another one, the next one will be on Tuesday night. But let's get into the last video of the night, and while this is playing, it's going to be a good time to type I agree if you want to get your name on the pick roulette wheel next week, if we do have one. That's how these whole pick roulette likes wheels work. If you type in I agree, as you can see going through there, you might see a few names going through. And just quickly, Jennifer's gone through there, as you can see. I agree, and Christy as well, Lee. So you can see the general consensus and how it works. So there you go, type I agree, and if you see your name going through there, you will be on the wheel. So let's get into the final video of the night, and again I'm going to jump over to Patreon to have a little look at what was requested, and we're going to be taking a look at the live version of Amelia, and this is the one where I recorded it and then recorded it again. I think I explained it at the beginning of the video, but we had this from Kevin and Melissa as well, so thank you for that. Let me scroll down and just see. Lynn has requested this, and Cindy, and I think that was it. Oh, and Donna at the bottom there as well. So thank you guys, a much requested tune, this one. And if you want to type I agree while this video is playing, now's the time to do it, and I'll see you guys afterwards. Rock. Alright, Phil here, Wings of Pegasus, and I had a little bit of spare time, so I thought I'd whip down an acoustic version of a track called Amelia, which will be on the album once it comes out. Now I've decided to sit on the squeakiest chair ever. Hopefully that won't affect it too much. Now the idea that I've got in my head is to play along like a version now, and then play along to that version afterwards, and then hopefully sort of sync it up somehow. But it should work. In my head, I think it's going to be fine. So let's see. Lost forever under all this emptiness. Each time I try to get inside, you're running my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you leave me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. They say that time is a healer. I don't believe what they say. I'm broken anyway. Ever since we parted, it's never ending. Under all this emptiness, each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Don't tell me you love me when you're sorry. It's not enough. Ooh, no. Only this time I woke and broken free. Amelia, Amelia, how could Cheers. And there we have it. That was my song called Amelia, the acoustic version of it. Of course, you can get the album version over at wingspegasus.com, and that's my album called Persistence. So, as you can see on the screen, things are a little bit more bare than usual because I forgot that in that video I'm over the other side of the screen to see myself in the background. So I did a little bit of live editing, which you might notice now because I'm drawing your attention to it, but I got rid of that thing and I actually moved this down a little bit, so if nobody spotted it, that's great. And I've got to try and get it lined up without it moving. Anyway, so that's what I did. So that was me messing around behind that video, trying to make sure that you could see my face a little bit more because I was being obliterated by the live chat room. But I didn't want to remove it entirely because some people were typing I agree, and we are now getting to the end of the live stream. So if you haven't typed I agree yet, make sure you do it because things are going to end soon. And Kathy Peterson has just typed I agree, so she's just about to make it onto that wheel if we get to the Pick Roulette likes target, which is 365. And I'm not sure whether we are going to make it or not. We're looking for 25 more likes before the end of the live stream. So if ever there is a time to spike the likes, now is the time. It's almost 1:10 here in the UK in the morning. So we're looking for those 25 people in that live chat room. If you are in there, if you can hit that thumbs up, it would be much appreciated because it means we can all have another Pick Roulette next week and get another lucky winner. But let's get into the super chat window as well because we have had a little bit of action in there, which will help to draw things out a little bit. But thank you guys for all of the donations tonight. I want to make sure that I don't miss any. Joan has donated $49.99. Thank you for that, Joan. A very kind donation. The message is applaud the mods. You are awesome, with some clapping hands. So thank you for that, Joan. And also massive thank you to the mods, moderators, for doing such a great job in these live streams as well. And you should see them go through there. We have Carla and Laurie and Neil in there somewhere as well. So thank you guys for moderating, and thank you for that donation, Joan. Ray has donated $35 again. Thank you for that, Ray. The message is, what I meant to ask was, do you try to communicate something different or deeper? Might you have a different interpretation in mind than the popular interpretation of the song, or am I overthinking this? So thank you for that, Ray. And I think pretty much I don't have anything that I'm trying to put any meaning into. For the most part, there might be a particular song that I try and put a little bit of my own meaning into because it's something that is saying within a song, saying something that I want to say myself. And I think that if you sing with your own voice and you're not trying to copy anybody, you're going to be a lot more likely to connect to an audience because it's going to be your voice. It's not as if when you're singing it's totally detached from the person and the sound that people are used to if they have heard you talk before. So yeah, I think there's a lot more opportunity to be genuine and just genuinely understood by more people when you're just singing with your own voice and not trying to imitate somebody else, because sometimes imitating somebody is not going to get across the meaning of the song because it's not you, or at least you don't sound like you singing it, which is a really important part, I think, to make that connection. But thank you, Ray, so much for that second donation. And J.E. Toby has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, I heard blues and jazz as an infant. Dad had hundreds of race records, 78 RPM shellac or pressed hard rubber. It is the music of my 74 years. So thank you for that donation and for sharing that as well. And yeah, I was just about young enough to have records and know about putting on a record, but then mostly in my youth it was tapes. That's where tapes started to take off. We had a tape deck in the car, which was very fancy at the time. But yes, thank you J. Toby for that, and Jill has donated $10 as well. So thank you for that, Jill. The message is, thanks so much for offering a yearly payment to be a patron. I switched over as soon as it was offered. You rock as usual, with a heart and thumbs up. So thank you for that, Jill. And this is something that became available on Patreon. So normally it was a monthly thing, but now you can pay for a month. So if you're doing, say for example, 3 months every month, you can now pay $36 in a one-off payment for the year. So that's just how it works over there. But thank you, Jill, for doing that over on Patreon. And if any other people are interested in joining me over on Patreon, then you can head over there as well. Patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. And I did flash that earlier, the address to it earlier as well. So I'm sure you guys already know the address for that. And Michael has donated $5 again with the guitar. Thank you for that. And Music Maiden has donated $2. Thank you for that. And the message is, congrats on 160,000 subs. So this is something that I haven't noticed yet, and it wasn't that if it was 160 or 159 before the live stream. So it might have been the case that we've passed over 160,000 subscribers, which would be amazing, but even 159,000 is fantastic. And I think from 159, that happened on Tuesday. So we've literally gone up maybe 1,000. I'll have to check it, but it might have been 1,000 in the course of 4 days, 5 days, something like that. So thank you everyone for hitting that subscribe button as well. It really does help the channel to grow, and it has grown a lot. So I think a lot of people that I've been talking with recently have noticed that I've been very quick with the messages, because there are, well, it would make sense if 1,000 more people get involved over a 4 to 5 day period. There's going to be a lot more messages, and that's certainly been the case. But I am still keeping up with everybody, so I'll try to do that as much as I can. But thank you everyone for getting involved on the channel and for hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell as well, to make sure that you don't miss any videos. But thank you for that. And Jan has donated 20 Norwegian kroner as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, this is from Cat Rampus. He liked the show. So thank you for that. And thank you for Cat Rampus as well. Or from Cat Rampus, maybe Rampus is the username, but thank you for that, the kind words, and just for tuning in and joining me tonight. Also guys, we've just hit 360 likes. So 361. Let me get the Pick Roulette likes target up on screen, because we need 3 more people to hit that thumbs up in order to have a Pick Roulette next week. Maybe it can happen. We're just about to, just 1:15 here in the morning, so we are going to have to call it a day very soon. But also thank you to Deborah, who has just donated $10 as well. And the message is there a Patreon /Wings of Pegasus lifetime membership option? So thank you for that, Deborah. And not that I know of, because we don't know how long the Wings of Pegasus thing will go on with my lifetime. I could maybe, well, I mean, it would be very disappointing for me to not live for very much longer, but that means that you'd then have to get your money back, which would be a shame. But there isn't on Patreon at the moment a lifetime option. It's just for the next year. But that's absolutely fine with me, just going forward for another year, just one by one. Hopefully 2021 will be a better year for everybody than 2020, but we will just see where we end up. This is the great thing about everybody here and the whole channel, is that we're all moving forward in the right direction, and we're all just touching base on these live streams in a live setting. And also, by the way, we've just had a massive spike of the likes. I've seen that it's gone up to 379. So we did get those 3 or 4 extra people and then some. So thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up and making there be a Pick Roulette next week, so we'll have another lucky winner then. You can join me on Tuesday night as well. We are going to be calling things to a close now, so thank you everyone for joining me, and there's going to be another live stream on Tuesday night. I am going to be doing another analysis video tomorrow night. I do one on Sunday nights, and on Wednesday there'll be another live analysis. Tune in for that. And by the way, on Thursday, even though there's not a video happening, that's going to be the day that I'll be chatting with Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult. So look out for that video being released next Sunday. And I'll tell you guys all about that on Saturday night probably, because that's when the live stream is going to happen anyway then. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight and for hitting that thumbs up, getting us past that Pick Roulette likes target. We will be having another one next week, which is always good news. And try to stay as safe as possible and just follow your government's guidelines, whatever they're telling you to do. And hopefully things can get back to relative normality pretty soon. Just keep your distance, stay spatially aware of other people, and also self-isolate, wear your masks, all of that good stuff. And hopefully things will improve. But thank you guys for joining me. This is something that we don't need to be socially distanced with a live stream. We can just look at a screen and we can all get together on these. So these will hopefully, fingers crossed, internet permitting, never end. I will always be here on a Tuesday and a